Hi there, BookTube. Today I'm going to share the book review for this beautiful thing, and that is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay written by J.K. Rowling, as you guys know. As I always start out my reviews with a summary of what the book is about, let's do that here as well. And if you don't know, which I'm guessing everybody knows right now because the movie has been hugely talked about, but this book and the movie, of course, follows the Magizoologist Newt, who arrives in New York, where he only plans to have a brief stopover on his way to Arizona. But when his magical case gets first misplaced and then his fantastic beasts escape and left running loose through New York, it clearly means trouble, not only for him, but everybody else as well. Before I get into talking about what I thought about the book itself, let's just talk about the beauty that this book really is, because it's such a stunningly made up book. There are all those beautiful details. The end papers are stunningly beautiful, and the book itself has all those little drawings in it. It has those really nicely done chapters, things, and it's such a beautiful book where you really see the love that somebody that created the art, they really loved either the book or just the magical world this book takes place in, because you just see the love for detail that this book has. And I also love that this hardcover edition has this little niffler underneath, and it's just so fitting for the story. It's so beautifully done. It's such a stunning book, and I highly recommend you guys looking at this book simply because of its beauty. What I love even more than just how beautiful it is that it fits so perfectly with what is inside of the book. It's such a beautifully done book, inside and out. The actual script itself is as beautiful as the cover and the cover art and everything else in this book. So it fits so wonderfully. I have to say, I'm not going to lie here and say I was expecting to love it. I was very skeptical about this book. I was very skeptical going into this book if I was really going to enjoy it, if it would be another Cursed Child that I read something. I'm not a big script reader. I never was a big script reader. I read it every once in a while, and most of the time, as was with the Cursed Child, I get disappointed if I try it. So I just was not excited going into this book. I expected to not be blown away by this, and I don't know if that was the perfect mindset to go into this book and get blown out of the water because of that. This book was wonderful. It was not at all what The Cursed Child for me was, because The Cursed Child, to say that very shortly before I get back into this book, The Cursed Child for me lacked everything. I couldn't connect with any of the characters. I couldn't get into the story. I didn't care about the plot. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't feel anything at all for anybody in The Cursed Child, and I was just very disappointed with that, and I kind of expected that to happen with this book as well. So when this book came out, I was pretty sure I was not going to read it because I was sure I was not going to like it. But I'm so unbelievably happy that I actually read this book, because this is Rowling's first try at screenwriting, but it's wonderfully done. It's typical Rowling writing. You see her shining through in every sentence, in every scene, in every moment. You really see Rowling's writing in this book shining through, even though it is a script. It shouldn't give you all those feelings and all those emotional connections. You don't get emotions, you don't get any feelings from the characters, you don't get a huge description of what is going on. You just get thrown into the scene, and that is it, which is fine, but I did not expect to get emotionally involved with all the characters. It was such an engaging story. It was so engagingly written. I even sometimes forgot I was reading a script because it was just so involved in what was happening and what was going on and what the characters were doing and what the beasts were doing, and it was such a wonderful time reading this book. And I think it says a lot about the writing of a script if you read this and forget you're reading a script, because it takes really, really big talent to be able to do that. I loved how Newt cares for all of the creatures and how he tries to show people that they are not evil simply because they look different. Maybe they look scary, but that doesn't mean that they are scary or that you should kill them simply because you look at them and you'll get scared. That is no reason to kill a creature. And I love how this book describes such caring and clearly loving moments between Newt and some of the creatures in here, and that we don't only get the showcasing of Newt and his feelings towards characters, but we also see that the creatures that care for Newt as well. We see at least one creature or beast in this book clearly loves Newt as well as Newt loves that creature, and I love that. It's such a beautiful scene, and I really loved it. And actually, the entire time I was reading this, and in every scene that Newt clearly shows how much he loves creatures, I just thought that Hermione and Newt would be so wonderful together that if they ever meet, Hermione would love Newt and Newt would love Hermione, because both of them see that creatures are not just creatures, they're humans too in a way. They need to be cared for, they need to be safe, they need to be loved. And I just would love Rowling to write this little thing where Hermione and Newt sit down and talk about all the creatures and how wonderful they all are, because that would be beautiful. But anyway, I love all the other characters as well. Newt was wonderful, but the other characters in this book were equally wonderful. I even found the bad stuff that is going on in this book was completely fascinating, because it really shows how completely magical Rowling herself is, because she wrote those 7 Harry Potter books that are all about this magical thing that she created and wrote about and came all out of her imagination. And we have this book that shows us in a completely new thing and completely new side and completely new aspects of that wizarding world. It was fantastic. And of course, I would have loved if this book would have been a novel instead of a script. But honestly, I think it is the best script I ever read, and I cannot wait to see the movie now. I just hope that everything is exactly as I imagined it reading this book. I cannot wait to get more from this world, more from those characters, and more from Newt, because he's such a wonderful character. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to read this, mostly because they are equally burned by The Cursed Child as I was. If you did not like The Cursed Child at all, read this, because this will cure everything. This is the 8th Harry Potter book we all wanted. This is the book, the addition, the magical world extra that we all screamed for. This is the new story, the new creatures, the new characters, and a whole lot of magical feelings we all wanted from Rowling, and we got it in this book, in this movie. So if you pick this beautiful book up and give it a try, I'm sure a lot of you guys will fall in love with it as I have. I would really, really love to know if any of you guys actually read this book, and if you did, what you thought about it, if you loved it as much as I did, or if you were disappointed with this. I would really love to know what people thought about it, because, I fell completely in love with it, which is completely unexpected for me, and it was not at all something I expected going into this. So I would love to hear what you guys thought about the book, or if you didn't read the book, if you watched the movie, or if you don't plan to have anything to do at all with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I just would love to talk with you guys in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this book or the movie, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!